Sorry for a little wait. We were redoing our Twitch settings after the big Twitch hack that happened 2 days ago. But now we're nice and here and ready to begin with the Vega Fairground Jam. And Fairground is the name of Vega's testnet. This is a weekly event, and my name is Daigan. I'm a community manager here at Vega. You probably recognize me here and there, as I say every week. Um, and yeah, I'm the host of this series. So this is an ongoing series. It takes place every Thursday at 6 p.m. British Summer Time or UTC +1. And each week we take a deep dive into an aspect of the Vega Protocol with a member of the Vega team or a special guest. And then we will follow up with an open Zoom room. So if you're a keen attendee and you enjoyed the discussion, you want to have a chat with the team or just come and hang out with us, you can come and hang out in the Zoom room that we post towards the end of the discussion. So this week we have a return guest and a big Vega OG. We have smart contract extraordinaire and legend, Danny. And Danny today will be talking about his involvement in creating the smart contracts that power Vega. He will also cover current projects and exciting plans we have for community engagement and other things he would like to do around Vega. But before we do begin, here are some quick house rules. Whilst Danny's presenting, you're free to ask questions in the Twitch chat, and he will answer those at the end of the call. About 5 minutes before we end, I post a Zoom link in the Twitch chat. We encourage you to come along. Before then, do send questions or whatever. And yeah, I think apology as well. My audio quality will be slightly worse today than it was last week, as my big microphone has finally breathed its last breath, and I'll be getting a new one soon. So that's enough of the introductions. Let's begin. Danny, would you mind introducing yourself quickly?
Yeah, hi, I'm Danny Holland. I'm the smart contract, or one of the smart contract developers at Vega. Up until recently, I was the only smart contract developer at Vega. So we've recently expanded the team, so that's really nice. I've been a smart contract developer for 4 years now. Before that, I was a C# developer for around 7 years on a variety of projects. It's been pretty wild. It's been pretty wild being in the crypto space for this long.
Solid, great introduction, and pleasure to
Thanks.
have you with us. So I was going to ask, what did you do before working at Vega? But you gave us a bit of that already.
I can expand that out if you want.
If there's anything else you want to tell us, or for how long you were doing those things, go ahead. Would
For
like to
sure.
know a bit more about you.
So I started my developer career as a test engineer at a major printer manufacturer. I worked in the test lab. I did the automated testing, and very quickly it came to me to people would bring to me the problems, the like weird problems, like we need to automate test faxing of things like that, which required me to learn how to program a PBX and all this stuff. So I quickly figured out that I like doing the weird, hard problems. And so that just totally fed into crypto when I got here. So after the test lab, I was a C# developer, as I said. I worked at the State Department of Education for one of the states. I worked for a couple small companies, and then I worked at a GPS tracking company. So I had to do data acquisition, data management, database, just everything. I was the full stack dev. And for a moment there, I was the only dev on the team. So that one was pretty crazy. And then after that, in 2017, I got dragged into an ICO, and I went from not knowing what Ethereum was to being an Ethereum smart contract developer in about 3 weeks before the token was launched. It worked. I think there was a bug, but it worked. It was fine. So like 90% of startups, they fail eventually. So that one failed. I joined a medical company. We were doing prescriptions using a blockchain component to to solve the double spend problem, like people flipping prescriptions. And that one failed as well. There have been numerous that I've been part of, and lots of exploratory teams in this stuff. And finally, I landed here at Vega, and I'm super happy to be here. Great place to be.
Nice. Looks like you caught the ICO bug alongside many other people. Um, what are the signs of an ICO company that's about to go bust?
Just listen to the people. Just listen to the people inside. Like, see the way they talk. See if they're actually in it for like a real project and not just a money grab or a scam. See how they pay their developers and see how they pay their people. That was a reoccurring theme for me. It was like they, didn't have the budget to like pay me well and everything, or pay anyone except for the CEO and maybe like two of his closest friends. That's usually the sign. That's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
There's a lot of scams out there. That's the thing.
Sweet. Sweet. So
Sweet.
what? Why? Okay then. Why Vega? You said you're like liking things now. What drew you here, and why stay?
So after many of these ICOs, I finally got to the point where I'm like, I need something more stable. I need to get on a team that is actually going somewhere. And I reached out to what do you call him, a recruiter friend of mine. He happened to be recruiting for Vega. Started talking to the team, and honestly, it's the team itself and the vision of what Vega it can be and will become that brought me here. Every single person on the Vega team has been just top of their class talent, always have been from the very beginning. And I feel humbled, honestly, to be among people who are just so good at what they do. I mean, they tell me I'm good at what I do as well, but like I don't know, I'm just amazed by all this. And then the vision, the overall vision, like the how big Vega could be, what it represents, what it can be, is just it just blows my mind. Like, if we capture the tiniest fraction of the derivatives market, like the global derivatives market, we'll be successful beyond our wildest dreams. So I mean, like, this is a great place, great people, everyone top to bottom. So I'm super glad to be here. For real.
Wow, that
Yeah.
was a yeah, glowing review. Lovely to hear from you. And yeah, let's hope there's a big if. So let's make sure that if becomes a when and how, and
Yeah.
we execute on those things. Um, but yeah, it's I echo what you're saying. Um, so you are in smart contracts. You introduced that at the beginning, right?
Yep.
What exactly do you guys do? I think Emil gave us a little bit of an insight into it last week when we had him on. And you are like the OG granddaddy of the smart contracts team, right? So
Yeah.
what do you do? How do you organize yourselves? What is life in that team?
So right now the team consists of three people: myself, Emil, who you met last week, and a new guy, Tari. I am the de facto smart contract lead just because I'm the one who was here first, but we have a very flat structure. Everyone is as we're all equals here. Everyone's improvements are important. Everything people do is valued. Uh, so I plan and architect the smart contracts, and then the systems around them. And I write the base smart contract. And then since Emil has joined, he tends to take them, optimize them, reduce gas costs and those things, and then run with them. And then Tari is the QA and the tester. He started recently and he's really kicking ass. So I'm glad there. But the reason we have so much need for smart contracts is a good portion of the assets that we'll be using on Vega live on Ethereum. So one of my first tasks when joining Vega was to write a bridge for ERC20 tokens from Ethereum to Vega. This includes things like Tether, DAI, wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ether. Basically any token you've heard of is probably an ERC20 token if it's not its own chain. And there's a lot of other things like voting and staking and other like non-token specific things that are on Ethereum that need a bridge between Ethereum and Vega. So, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, on that topic, do you see us in the future hiring other people that are specialists for different chains, and then using those people to do their own respective bridges? Or would that could be a community bounty or community work, or is it something that needs to be intricately done from within, and those people need to be found and joined? Like, what's your take?
Honestly, all of the above. There is a limitation on certain of the chains. If they're not, if they don't have smart contracts, or the coding and the scripting language isn't Turing complete, it becomes very difficult to do a proper bridge that's properly secure. So Ether, we can do Ether, that's fine. Some of the EVM based sidechains, we can do those, that's fine. Doing Bitcoin has some serious limitations that will limit our ability to do this in a genuinely secure way that's actually controlled by the Vega validators rather than by just some dude. So I would like to put out bounties on a lot of these things, but I know inherently some of the chains are just off limits and will potentially remain off limits. Like, I'd love to have a Dogecoin bridge, but Doge doesn't have smart contracts as of now. I'd love for them to get it, but
Yeah, so you think the other smart contract layer ones are all potential possibilities, or
yeah, the smart
you
like
have to
we could
look
do
into each one case by case? Or
yeah, we could do Cardano, probably now that they've finally put out smart contracts. They have I think an EVM based smart contract thing. We could do something like Tron, even though I don't even know if that's even up anymore. I really need to look into these. I've been so heads down with Ethereum. I'm kind of a maximalist at this point. So, what are you going to do?
yeah,
But yeah,
ETH's getting a lot of competition, but it's still, yeah, by far like the dominant chain. So it's like it's a great place, great starting place.
yeah, it's because that's where we are. Like, the devs don't want to move over to these other things because I mean, we've seen, like, if you've been in the space for any length of time, you've seen so many of these things come and go. It's like
Yeah,
EOS. I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah. I remember EOS like captured so much hype and money in the market at one point,
And then,
and yeah, yeah. Well,
yep,
maybe it'll come back. We'll see.
maybe.
Maybe. Anyway, away from uh other chains. So you said that you tend to create the contracts and then the mill ends up going over them and optimizing them. So I'm wondering if you had any role in the Fairground rewards contract that went out earlier this week, and then today we released the ability for people to claim their rewards. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So you may or may not be aware, that was the second version of the claim codes. The first version I had written, and there was a feature in there that used to commit and reveal that came from a mill, and it worked. It was fine-ish. It was very gas intensive. It was very expensive to run, and then Emil actually found a way to front run it, especially given the lag, the mining lags that have been introduced by ERC 1559. A lot of people have, you'll put in your gas price, you're ready to go. It says, yeah, it'll be 15 seconds. And then suddenly there's a gas spike and it takes, an hour to mine. Well, in that hour, someone can now front run, easily front run the claim codes. So once that was found, we had to shut that down. And then rework it. And Emil actually reworked that one, got the gas price down, so it's actually profit. It costs less than the cost of a Vega to run it, which is great, which I'm very stoked about. But between that, between the front running and the gas prices and the limitations of the Twitter API, like to distribute the codes, we had to do a full revamp anyway. So now it's out. We don't use the DM function of the Twitter API. The gas prices are lower, and there's front running protection there. So now it's running great. Everything's good. If anyone finds anything weird, let us know. We are more than happy to tip people. We're more than happy to give bounties for people finding like real problems with this stuff. So if anyone out there does find some, please let us know.
you heard it here first. Yeah, the claim codes have been a real journey, going from so many iterations, and we're very glad to finally get them out now. And I think, yeah, there were small things people have been bringing up, but we're working on getting a fix out for them today. But yeah, great work on bringing that together. And it's quite funny that you made a whole system, and then Emil found a way to front run it,
Yep.
and then he had to completely redo it. So yeah, it shows that we've been picking up some good people on the team.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so while you've been at Vega, what would you say has been what's been easy for you over the time that you've been working here, and what have you found a real challenge?
So the easy, so we use the CQRS pattern, which is basically the smart contracts just emit events, and then Vega consumes the events. And that has made bridging the gap between Vega and Ethereum surprisingly easy. The contracts have been really solid. Everything's been really straightforward. There's not a lot of complexity in the logic itself. So that was surprisingly easy. That's been really great. We did a staking bridge recently, and to stake Vega is real simple, and that was surprising. I was expecting that to be much harder when I first jumped into this. One of the biggest challenges actually happened recently with the LP staking. There's no easy way to loop through like all the users of a smart contract. It'd use too much gas and it just couldn't be mined. So you have to think of really weird mechanisms to like block things together and make it so it only updates, when the person goes to withdraw something. And that being the case, the LP staking was just, it was turbo hard. It was really, really difficult. And we ran through a ton of iterations, and between coding it, debugging it, and then recoding it and everything, it caused a huge delay. It took far longer than we expected. So that recently got put out. That was a pretty major fire. And again, huge shout out to Emil. He definitely took the last little bit of that one over the line, and I appreciate it. That was really good and way harder than it should have been.
Yeah. I definitely think it got really complicated as we worked further on it. But yeah, the LP staking was the rewards for people who were finding liquidity for the Vega USDC and Vega ETH pairs when the token unlocked back in early September. And yeah, there's a couple interesting blog posts on that if you would like to learn a bit more about how you can also start staking or getting involved with doing that and claiming the rewards that we are giving out. That's the end of the promo. So it's been cool to talk to you about your smart contract work. Like, you do a lot of other things. So what are you and the rest of the smart contract team up to at Vega right now?
Well, as well as supporting the claim codes and the LP staking and the bridges and the staking bridges and all the other moving parts we have, we're in the process of expanding test coverage on the ERC20 bridge that's been in testnet for, I think it's been around a year now. I'm not exactly sure. And then we're in the final stages of testing the Ethereum bridge, like the native Ether bridge, because we've got the ERC20 bridge that can use wrapped Ether, but some people just want to use Ether directly as assets, given that it's the native asset. So we needed to make an Ether bridge, and there's certain difficulties and complications there that aren't in ERC20 tokens. So Tari's actually finishing up the testing on that one right now. On top of that, we're also just starting to spec out the Vega Oracle out. This allows any piece of data of information that's on the Vega network to be bridged over to Ethereum to be used as an oracle. Think pricing data on markets and things like that. We consume oracles, but there's the ability for us to also be an oracle. It's something that Barney brought up a long time ago, and we've been kicking it around for a while now. But we just started speccing that one out. Oh yeah. Also, we're in the process of working on some NFTs for the community. So
Wait, hold that.
um,
On the topic of oracles,
yeah.
there's a lot of other decentralized dexes out there. Does that mean that they could potentially use Vega as as a price setting thing to launch more markets on their exchanges?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, that's exactly what this is for.
So then Vega becomes like an extension to other derivative dexes as well,
Yep.
which is a whole other like way of using Vega. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm excited about that. Like at first I'm like, why would we want to do that? And then, Barney being Barney, he started explaining it and laying out the vision of what's possible, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's cool. Now you
Yeah.
can go to the NFT stuff. I
Okay,
just
yeah.
wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, no, that one's cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So the other one is for the community, we're looking at doing some profile pic style NFTs. PFP projects are big, and people love them, and people kind of attach their identity to them, at least on social media and whatnot. And I definitely want to be a part of that. Um, I guess I can just talk more about that. That's a big community incentive. So the plan right now is to make them NFTs based on the ghosts of centralized liquidity past, the little square guys that we use on all our media. If you've seen anything recently, you've seen the little square guys with their arms and
Yeah, the old retro square guys. They're everywhere.
yeah,
They're like the
yeah,
Fairground mascot.
yeah,
They're the ones.
exactly.
They're the ones that are riding on Fairground. And actually, they're the ones who are usually in my background.
Hey, yeah, those guys right there, those two.
These guys.
Yeah. So we're thinking at the moment somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 generative NFTs. We've got a plan to generate them in different ways. They'll be totally random. And then rather than do the cash grabby thing where we sell them to people and auction them off and all this stuff, we actually are planning different ways to distribute them, such as rewards for bounties, airdrops to OG community members. What was the other? Oh yeah, and then redeeming for collecting like POAPs or pop tokens. And there's a few other ways we're looking at distributing them to people. We'd really like to see the ghosts pop up on Twitter. I would love to see that. I'd love to be scrolling through and hey, look, there's a whole bunch of ghosts. It's a thing I'd really like to see. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, and
It is.
we don't want to give too many hints on what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we would love to give these out to the community and then create like you could even create markets on like NFTs on floor prices and other things on Vega and down the line. But not something that we can do for a bit. But yeah, we're hoping to get these into the hands of the first generate them, see if they look any good, and then get them into the hands of the community as soon as it's a viable thing. It's a thing we've been discussing since like the start of the year, and now we're thinking like it's time to actually try and get this off the ground. But yeah, keep an eye out. There'll be more information on it in the coming weeks, probably weeks to months, and then yeah, we'll be iterating on that. But on the topic of NFTs, I guess you're really into NFT gaming, right? Or just gaming in general?
Both.
NFT gaming. You've made your own. You've done a few things in that space. Could you tell us a bit about what you've done and what kind of interests you about it?
Oh yeah, for sure. As you may know, and a lot of people may know, Ethereum exists because Vitalik had Blizzard nerfed Vitalik's Warlock on World of Warcraft. And he got really upset about it and was like, if I actually owned this, that this couldn't have happened. So I really resonate with that. That's something I really, believe in. I've dumped thousands of hours into games like Diablo, and the second I uninstall it, like, all the assets are gone, everything I've earned, all the farming I've done of the random number generator, it's all gone. It goes poof. And there's no way to capture that. There's no way to transfer it. I don't own it. So I'd very much like to see blockchain gaming become a thing. There are certain studios out there that are doing it, and at some point, I hope to be one of them. I'm planning to start a game studio at some point, specifically focused on blockchain games. In the past, I've done an idle game, slot machines, strategy games. I wrote a world generator, a map generator in Solidity for a blockchain game called Ruined Reign that a friend of mine did. I did some consulting with him on that one. It didn't really take off. It's really expensive to play because it is on mainnet Ethereum. So, you know how it, yeah, you know how it is. So I've had a lot of experience playing with different mechanisms, and I have a lot of other things in the works that I'm planning. And yeah, like I said, eventually game studio is the thing. As to how that relates to Vega, I can't say a whole lot about it at the moment, but I'm working on a proof of concept RPG that'll actually use those PFP, the NFTs as the characters. That's all I can say about it. I'm not giving any more details. I definitely don't want anyone to front run this, but if all goes well, it should be really fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. We're looking forward to hearing more about it. Yeah, we'll let you keep working on it for the time being. Someone's got a question from the audience, and I feel like I'm thinking I might as well ask it now. It's related to the smart contract work you were doing before. They said you might have already answered it before, but would it be and someone in the audience also really likes the NFT and gaming ideas. They're loving it. Awesome. Would it be exceedingly difficult to eventually work with Solana, Terra, or Phantom?
Let's see. Solana has smart contracts, if I remember correctly, so that should be fine. I don't know about the other two.
Terra and Phantom, they're all alternative layer ones. They all have smart contracts.
Yeah, then it should be fine. As long as they have some sort of event layer and they have an ability to do multi-signature control, like as long as I can in the smart contract recover like an address from a signature, we can make a bridge. Like that's mostly all it takes. So this should be possible. It should be entirely possible. If there's someone in the community who really wants to do that, we can put up a bounty for it. We could probably open up a position for something like that. Depending on the demand, the main reason we started with Ether and Ethereum is that there's so many other assets than Ethereum. So I don't know how Solana's looking with like tokens on Solana that actually have a good market cap. I'm not sure. I haven't researched that. But as far as doing the bridge, yeah, it should be totally possible.
Nice. You should check out Solana. They're really, really busy. I'd say they're coming for second biggest or third biggest. Oh, and Cosmos and Polkadot as well. We've got a few comments in the chat. Yeah. We've got lots of people that are fans of all the different trades. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. We're agnostic, so I mean that's what we want in the long term for sure.
Yeah, Vega's it's the derivative layer for the blockchain, right? You can build whatever you want on top of it. So you can also like link to lots of different chains as long as they have the smart contract language. Yeah, someone says that secure lower fee layer ones have become really, really big, and that's basically what we've seen the trend to be over the last few weeks to months. I've been paying a lot of attention to it. You're seeing a lot of competition from these other layer ones that are just cheaper because everyone's coming in to try and do all this. Like the biggest gas guzzlers from Ethereum are OpenSea, and that's just NFT sales. And people are paying way too much money to just try and buy and sell NFTs, or even Axie Infinity has been taking up a lot of gas. So there's a lot of competition, but yeah, we can bridge to all of them hopefully in good time. So someone's asking if there are plans to bridge NFTs to collateralize, so e.g. floor perpetuals. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. Yeah. Danny, do you have any thoughts on it?
I think it'd be really cool. The nature of Vega is that you can make markets on whatever. It's up to the community and it's up to the users themselves. So yeah, like come up with the crazy stuff, come up with those ideas, figure out ways to work them out. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have APIs for this stuff, so it should be entirely possible. We probably won't implement a lot of it ourselves. It'll probably come from the community, but yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really, really cool. And also, yeah, like someone else has said that someone said we're hopefully going to do, Vega's going to wipe out Perpetual and DYDX. One thought is that when Vega has open oracles and lots of markets proposed on it, you could actually have some of our markets launched on those other exchanges too. So as we were talking about about 10, 20 minutes ago, I think there's a lot of possibilities once we actually get Vega up and running and out there. And yeah, sky's the limit.
Oh yeah, sky's the limit for sure.
Someone's also mentioned XDAI. which bridges seamlessly to ETH. And I think, Danny, you talked about XDAI quite a lot, so you want to say something there?
Yeah, XDAI is actually what we're planning to do the NFTs on, because that's where the POAPs are. And POAP is already a system that's in place, and we can leverage for our community. And then so having the NFTs on that same chain makes sense. Also, for the aforementioned RPG game, we need something that has really low transaction fees to make it a viable game. So yeah, I've been looking at XDAI. We've been talking about it quite a bit. It's not set in stone, but that's high probability. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, you've got a lot of enthusiasm from, is it Zume or Zoom? But yeah, they're in the audience and they're loving it. So
that's awesome.
I think you two should chat on Discord. Pop up on Discord and come and say hi, and we'll continue or come and join us on Zoom later, actually. Oh, yeah. Zoom is how you say it. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Okay, yeah, back to the questions, and then if you have further questions, put them in the Twitch chat, and I'll get to them as we go along. Is there anything, okay, you've talked a lot about smart contracts and everything else. Is there anything that you'd like to get more familiar with or learn a bit more about in either Vega side or blockchain side of things, or just in the areas that you work in?
Yeah, so on top of the other side chains, because it's very clear that my maximalism is probably going to end up getting in my way at some point. Other than that, I want to learn more about zero knowledge everything, all the rollups, all the ZK proofs, the snarks, all that stuff, because right now we obviously have a scaling problem on Ethereum, and the side chains can only go so far. The zero knowledge stuff really needs to happen. I'm like looking forward to ETH2, of course, but like I think the zero knowledge stuff is real important. I'm also interested in reaching out to other blockchain game devs, see where the space is going, see where ideas are moving, because the potential here is huge. The future of that is huge. Also, I spend a huge amount of time learning about financial instruments, derivatives, and whatnot, because before I joined Vega, I really didn't know what a derivative was. So I've been expanding my knowledge on those for a really long time, ever since I've been here. And so I'm always up for learning more about financial markets and how the finance world works. So, you know, outside of just crypto and just coding, just finance in general is really interesting to me.
Beautiful. Danny, tell us an interesting non-crypto related fact about yourself.
So I'm also an EDM, IDM musician. I've released 2 albums this year under the name Sacrificial Pancakes. You can find them on Spotify. I think they're on YouTube as part of the DistroKid set. So they're on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, all that place. Yeah, it's, you know, music gear and stuff. So yeah, that's my downtime. I make beat boot music.
That's really interesting, and you can check out Sacrificial Pancakes on Twitter, on everywhere. But you can just Google Sacrificial Pancakes, and you can listen to some of his albums and his other work. Yep. We recommend a listen. Thank you. How have you found this discussion format? Would you change anything if you were organizing it? What would you do differently? Give us some feedback.
I have actually organized one of these. I did an interview of Tamlin back in the day. I really like this format. I think it's great, both for knowledge dumps and for getting to know the people involved. Because I mean, like, yeah, I can just spout information, but we can also have a conversation. We can learn about how each other are, and the community gets to see the people behind the project. And I think that's really important. I mean, I get the point of anon projects. I understand that, but at the same time, like, there's value to knowing who's behind the project. There's value in knowing the people involved, because at the end of the day, it is people. And I love this format.
Thank you, Danny. That was beautiful. And yeah, I learned a lot about the team as well. Like, a lot of things I didn't think I would want to know, but then like they're really useful to know. And then it's just, yeah, all the new things about the people you work with on a daily basis. So I think it's cool. Is there anything that you would like to ask me?
Oh, yes. Oh, very much so. So first off, I loved your dissertation that you posted in Slack the couple weeks back, month, I don't know, it was a while ago, on play to earn. So Daigan here, he wrote this whole thing on play to earn. It's brilliant. It like feeds into all the stuff I was talking about games. Like it again really resonated with me. It's really good. So where can people find that paper? Because other people should read it for sure. And B, are you willing to talk about it a little bit?
Sure, I'll give you a quick brief. So it's not published on the web, but I could put it out somewhere. I send it to people by email if they ask for it. So if someone would like to read it, I can send it. Or if you know a sort of place that I can host or put it, that would be like, would keep it, then get in touch and I'll put it there. It's about the scope and scalability of NFT gaming in developing nations. So I look at particularly the Philippines, Argentina, Brazil, Venezuela, all the countries that have been playing lots of video games during the pandemic. I can put it on the Vega Discord, sure, and you can have a read. And I talked to Jeffrey Zerlin, the CEO of, co-founder of, not CEO, growth lead at Axie Infinity. I look at loads of interviews with Gabby Dizon and all the other people that put together. I actually also interviewed Filipinos, and I went around Discords and like the YGG servers, and I talked to a lot of different people who were playing these games on a daily basis and seeing how it's affected their lives and what they think about the ways, even the ways they might be used for exploitation or other different things. And I basically look at if this model can scale towards, in the long term, is it something that we're going to see a lot more of as games evolve? Or is it just a fad and something that's like, it's making people like Pokemon Go. It's like interesting for a bit and then like everyone forgets about it. But I think the future is quite bright for play to earn and NFT gaming. I think of it as like a natural advancement of where we have been building up to, from pay to like buy a game, then free to play, then like pay to win. And then you have play to earn, which is just a new way of looking at gaming. So I think it would be like putting a lot of power back into the players' hands. And if you can design economies around it in the right way, I think it'd be really interesting. And seeing the experiments and the things we see in the future. Yeah, I can put it on the Vega Discord if you like send me a message asking for it.
Yeah, dude, everyone needs to read that. I found it fascinating. It was like 30 pages or something, and like it had my full attention. I dumped, I don't know, like 3 pages worth of notes on you as I was reading through it. It was really good.
You did. Yeah. I'm gonna dox myself if I post it. Everyone's gonna see my identity. But you can see it already from the school. But yeah, I'll definitely post it if someone asks for it. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this call.
I do have one more question. Oh, sorry.
Go.
Oh, the one other question was, have you learned it, like, since you wrote that, did you learn anything new? Like, has anything like new popped in, like, into your sphere of consciousness?
Yeah. There's been a lot more since I started researching it around January, February this year. And that was before like the huge Axie boom. And then so many other games are also trying it now. And you have like Gods Unchained, what's it called? Immutable X with the stuff they're doing, even with like TikTok and other people. The industry is growing at a much faster rate than I ever thought. And you're seeing like governance tokens for these games, and just the amount of development and activity and actions going on. It's happening a lot faster than I thought it would. And I think like next year will be like the mother lode. Like you're going to see so much more for this space, which I don't know. When I first started researching it, I thought it was interesting, but now I'm like convinced it's going to be something that will, because it can provide, it's like universal basic income for people in some poor countries. It can really change like entire economies. So I don't know if I've got drank too much moon juice.
Way too much Kool-Aid.
Yeah, too much Kool-Aid, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm just surprised by how quickly things are moving.
Me too. I'm impressed. That's my take on it too. So
cool. Someone in the comments said they sacrificed some pancakes to their stomach this morning.
No, you didn't. So a sacrificial pancake is that, like, you know, when you first that very first one where the pan's not right or the batter's not right and it turns out like crap and no one wants to eat it, that's the sacrificial pancake. Just so you're aware.
Okay, that got some good context. That helps me understand it a lot more. Yeah, so someone else said, yeah, they really liked that you're a big gamer and that you can't help it. So keep it up, Danny. Always keep the gaming side of you. And then someone, yeah, thanks for clarifying too. Well, that's it for the Vega Fairground Jam. Definitely come back and hang out with us next week. Let me know if there's someone particular that you would like to. I'll post it on the Vega forum if you ask for it. Make sure you let me know if there's someone that you would like, someone else in the team that you'd like to have on this, and then we can have a chat with them as well. But Danny's always a dream to have on the show. We've had him here a few times. And yeah, we're planning a really big community event around when we launch mainnet and we launch staking. So keep an eye out for that as well in the next few days to weeks, whenever the validators decide they're ready to push out the mainnet. And yeah, we're also like the NFT stuff and a lot of other things. Keep an eye out for those things in the months to come. When stake, I can't give you an exact answer, but it's when the validators decide that they are all collaborating and ready to launch the mainnet. And when that happens, then you will be able to stake on that interface.
Yeah. So just to interject here, this is actually decentralized, like actually decentralized. Like, so a lot of it is up to the validators and whatnot. Like,
we can't turn the switch and say on mainnet. It's the validators who put it up. So
yep.
We give them everything they need, and then we help with the testing and we talk to them, and then when they're all comfortable and ready, that's when. Yeah, if you have locked Vega, then you could still stake, but there was no extra reward, but your extra reward is being early. But you can stake your locked tokens when mainnet is live, yes.
Yep.
Okay, if you have any further questions, head over to the Zoom and you can join us there and ask them. We'll be there for about 10-15 minutes after this call. And yeah, have a lovely morning for you, Danny, evening for me. And we'll catch you guys soon in the near future. Until next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.